evening and welcome to the second week of our special celebrating and learning from successful business owners. Thank you once again for tuning in wherever you are, and happy Monday. As always, we will start with some tips for your business. Tonight, it is for marketing. The top 10 marketing strategies to fuel your business growth. That's by entrepreneur.com. You know, it's so amazing. Years back, when there was not a big digital marketing presence yet, I remember that you have to pay, get at least some flyers done, get it distributed, or at least advertise on TV, media such as newspaper or magazine. Nowadays, it's so different. Because of the power of digital marketing and social media, they have truly taken over the marketing world. And now you can actually do things at a lower cost because of social media. Now you hear businesses saying, oh, wow, we got that much exposure from social media that would have cost us at least tens of thousands or at least thousands if you did it through media, like a TV commercial. So anyways, business are faced with real issues. They need to spend money to make money. What now if the money runs out? So here are some of the things that you can do nowadays with a tight budget that would help with marketing. So number one, use social media. Now, of course, this could be daunting at first, but once you use it, it gets a lot easier. I myself have issues with that. Sometimes I don't know what to post. I would sit there and I'd be like, what am I supposed to write that would be good for my business, or something that would make sure that at least people will think, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Now, you can hire a social media manager. A few weeks back, we had a guest, Success City Online, who is one of the top social media companies here in town. So you could do something like that. But if you're going to do it yourself, some of the tips are: be yourself, be authentic, post your thoughts and, of course, your products or services. Post items that are relevant to your target audience, such as banks would usually post stuff about cybersecurity, or if you have a medical company, about the services that they provide, or how much caring they are. Feng Shui store would give you tips on how to declutter your home, right? So those are some of the things that you could do. Use direct messages in platforms such as Instagram or Twitter, or even Facebook. It's still one of the top most popular used social medias up to now. Other business people or people that need your products or services will see that, of course. Retail companies are great at doing that. Retail, they'll post a bunch of stuff in social media posts. Second, create video tutorials. Teach people something useful. Walk them through a process. The better you are, the more value you create, pretty much. And those will give you visibility. Ultimately, your sales will increase. YouTube is the second largest search engine next to Google. But the truth is, Google owns YouTube. So 1 and 2 is owned by Google. So if you have YouTube in your website, it's better for when it appears in Google, pretty much. So having a YouTube connected to your website is great. So what can you teach if you're a business owner that can help clients? Well, I know there's an Asian person who does makeup on YouTube. And this person became such a sensation. The person is one of the top, has one of the top followers pretty much on YouTube. So that's one. A lot of finance companies do finance service, and then they'll teach how to invest your money. I even see car parts stores, and then they kind of do like a tutorial on how to change simple upgrades on your car. So that's creating video tutorials. Start blogging. Now, when you blog, the most important thing is you need to know your subject. You need to know what you're doing because that builds credibility. Use platforms such as LinkedIn publishing platform, Medium to post content, and then you can answer questions from Reddit or Quora. Make sure to blog substance to gain credibility. Give people value. The best example that I can give you, there's a gentleman in the Philippines who is a portfolio manager. The wife's business is sending overseas workers to Singapore or different other Asian countries. The husband blogs to these workers on how to save and invest their money. So that's a great service. Then eventually when they come back, I'm sure they'll come to him, and because it's a free service. And then when they come back, they know him, they trust him, and I'm sure they'll enroll with him. Number 4, understands search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO is frightening, but when learned can be powerful. So that's really finding the best way so that when people search for your industry or your company or your product, you'll be one of the top to come out. You'll be the first one. My best advice for this, hire a marketing company. Number 5, leverage influencers. This is the fastest way to boost your visibility in social media. The key here is find the right one. Just because they have 1 million followers, it doesn't mean that they will be the best one to do the job for you. Sometimes even somebody who has less followers but has the exact niche that you need would be better, and then you didn't have to spend that much money. Sometimes an influencer, like I said, can have more followers, but they don't have the target audience that you're looking for. In 2021, they surveyed, I guess, people at the age of 16 to 24, and they believe that Instagram is the most trusted platform pretty much out there. 32% of them actually believe that. TikTok is number 2 at 28%. So influencers are huge, especially in what they use. Number 6, build a great lead magnet. The best way to do this really is to identify the most effective pain point for a client or a would-be client and present a solution for them. Make sure you answer 2 questions. What problems are consumers facing in your niche? What made you get into this business in the first place? I guess the best example I can give you would be me when I was a banker. As a banker, I would always carry a discovery sheet with me. And when I start talking to a client, a business client first, my number 1 question is, what keeps you up at night? What are your main issues? When they tell you that, that's how you build a solution for them, tailored specifically for them. So now other examples of a lead magnet would be a cheat sheet or checklist. Those are things that you can carry with you. Number 7, use Facebook ads. One of the most powerful methods. Use FB retargeting is what they call it, to be in fact. You can reach a targeted audience. Again, if they're looking for something in particular, you can hit them with that. And you can do it by age, interest, relationship status, geographic location, and some other metrics as well. My best advice for this, hire somebody, because it's another hard one to do on your own. Number 8 would be use LinkedIn. But you got to do it the right way. So, for example, a lot of people there use a video for their profile. That's awesome. When you use video profile, you're basically marketing your business. You can tell people about what you do. You can tell people about your products. It's great. What they call that, you can easily reach a large audience, especially if you are connected to a lot of people. You can tell stories that are impactful, convey your entrepreneurial journey. Again, the guest that we had about 2 weeks ago, they offer a class on how to use LinkedIn efficiently. So I would highly recommend that. If you're using LinkedIn more for just like a resume, it has more uses than that. Make sure you take a class and learn how to use LinkedIn better. Number 9 is create an affiliate program. Affiliates can give you massive growth. So an affiliate marketing is basically a process where an affiliate earns a commission for marketing another person's or company's product. So eBay would be the number one example for this. eBay, GiddyUp, ClickBank. So they'll sell your item for you basically, but you have to pay them. But of course, you reach a bigger part of the audience, pretty much. And lastly, use email marketing sequences. This is one of those, again, I'm gonna say, hire somebody to do, because of course you need somebody who's very good at doing this. But when you get a interest, for example, from a client, you know that they're looking at something. So if you sell widgets, they checked out your widgets. That's a signal for you to start emailing them and maybe telling them more about the widget. What does it do? What's so special about it? Or what are the upcoming specials for it? And it's always the best. I got to tell you, I always fall for that. I love these beads, the bracelet beads that we use. So there's a company that sends me this every day, and I always click on it and see what's new. And once in a while, I would buy one, and I would think to myself, dang, they got me again. But that's great marketing. So use segmenting, be authentic and transparent. Again, when you're using this, and you can use the emails to really build a relationship with your client. I can say that store has a relationship with me because they know, it feels like they always know what I want. That's why I always feel safe by clicking their emails when they send one to me. So there you go. That's our top 10 tips for today. Hopefully this helped you out. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to our guest. All right. Be back in a few.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Welcome back. Now, I'm very excited. We're going to talk to our guest for tonight, another successful business owner that we're going to learn from. So we're going to ask her the same questions as the first one that we ask. I'm very, very proud and honored to have you here. Our guest for tonight is Marichu Pizan. She is the owner of Manila Adult Daycare. Marichu, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Sonny.
Of course, you are very welcome. Now, tell us about your company. Tell us what you do and what services you provide.
Okay. So our company name is Manila Adult Daycare, and it's owned by me and my husband, which we're all actually in a medical field. My mother-in-law, Lucy, she's a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner. My husband is a surgical tech. And another owner is Christina Balmes, and she was also in a medical field. She used to own a laboratory, and now she has IV infusion.
Nice.
So yeah, that's our company, which is for adult daycare here in Las Vegas. The services that we provide, of course, for adult daycare, it's we have recreational activities for ages supposed to be 18 to and above, but we recently transitioned to elderly, and we're specializing in Alzheimer's. And
Nice.
For adult daycare, we have we serve meals. We have transportation for them. We pick them up and then we drop them off to their homes. They have the recreational activities such as arts and crafts, bingo, karaoke,
Nice.
dancing. Yeah, so it depends on what they prefer, like the clients. And then meals. Yeah, so that's for
Nice.
adult
No,
daycare.
we spoke earlier, and this is just an added question here, but I'd love for you to mention it because one of the things that people don't realize when you have an adult daycare like yours, not only are they being entertained, but they're very well taken care of.
Taken care of,
And
yeah.
in fact, they're so well taken care of. I believe it's really helping as far as being proactive in their health.
Yes.
It's actually, can you
Yes.
touch upon that if
Yes.
that's good? Yeah.
Well, it does help a lot because not only for their social and activities, but at our adult daycare, since I'm there and my mother-in-law is in there, who is a nurse, so we manage their medications. It's like a medication management, and then in regards to their health as well. So on the social side, instead of the elderlies or our clients that's staying, instead of deteriorating home, they come to our daycare and they socialize, they mingle with other clients, and that's actually make them more active, and it lessens their thoughts of like being sick, having all these symptoms. So that's how I think that's how they prevent having illnesses, like especially those chronic illness.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
When I was still a banker, the first
Yeah.
branch that I managed was close to a Sun City. And I had a particular client. He was in his late 70s, but
Yeah.
he was sharp as a tack all the time. But
Yeah.
one of the reasons why even at his late 70s, he was very active. Then he decided to retire completely from whatever he was
Oh.
doing, and he would just stay at home. And I saw his decline pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in that. Yeah.
Well, because like for example, for those, like I could see it for my clients actually, because they came from like they keep working and then all of a sudden they stop and then they deteriorate at home.
Yeah.
But once they are with us, because they need what do you call this? Like training.
Yeah.
Training for their activities. So.
Yeah. Well, now let's go to my second question. So you've been in business, not just this one, but you've had other businesses as well. So tell me, what inspired you to open a business?
For the adult daycare, me and my husband has been attending a few what do you call this?
Seminars? Or?
No, medical missions back home in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then since we're all in the medical field, so then I always think of a business that like I won't be just as a bedside, and what if I have a business that my husband and my other family member be a worker, and I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
So then I said, like, I was doing I was the one that approving for adult daycare here in town way back.
Oh.
And then I say, like, I saw few adult daycares and I'm like, you know what, I want something like this, like you go to work, you see people doing the activities, and it's not as stressful as being a bedside.
Yeah.
And then we go back home. And, I work with my husband. My family will be there, So then we started the adult daycare. But later on, I realized, I'm already here with the client, Why won't I be a primary care provider for them? Since I'm there most of the time, I have encounter with them. I actually memorize their health conditions. And so later on, I'm like, you know what? I can be a primary care provider for these clients. So I added the clinic.
The clinic.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But later on, I also say, like, I won't stop there because I also like to have something different that, not only related to insurances and stuff like that, because I always wanted to have a fallback.
Okay.
What if insurances later on won't pay me, or it's not going to be enough?
Sure.
I'm the head of the family, so then I would need something like cash.
Yes.
So then I started the aesthetics.
Nice.
because it's a cash pay. It's nothing related with insurance.
Very popular field.
I'm not saying that, like insurance is bad, but what if, later on I would have problem with insurances, I won't be able to bill and stuff like that. So the aesthetic side is actually a fallback for me, which I recently realizing that it's actually pretty good pay. So
No, it's one of the best fields to get into right now, to be honest with you. So it's great. But I love that story. You found your calling. You found a place where you can have your family with you, do
Yes.
work. It's not stressful. You're helping
It's-
people.
I'm helping. I'm like a big impact for the community, actually, because in starting a business, to me, it's not just about money. Something that you like and something that impact other people or the community. And me and my husband has always been like that because, going back to the Philippines, we always wanted to help. And then I'm like, why can't we do something here in the U.S.? Because we're also here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm sure, because I've preached this in my show, when you first started your business, it was, I'm sure, or maybe I'm wrong, it was right away successful. Or can you describe to me the journey and some of the sacrifices that you had to make, or maybe even change a little bit of your model?
Okay. Well, we all know that starting business is not easy.
Yeah.
So we do have sacrifices. And first time, you need to have, enough time to build your business, family, money, and, like for example, for me, I was a full-time nurse practitioner and I work night shift. And way back when we were starting the business, we have to deal with, like the structure, licensing, things like that. And I need to divide my time between my full-time work, my kids, my family, and the business itself. But it's a good thing that my husband is really supportive, and but he also has to quit his job as a surgical tech in the hospital in order for him to support me.
Awesome.
So those sacrifices is maybe it's different from others, but for me we had to go through that. So that's why I'm saying that when you're starting a business, you need to have a full support from not only from your family, maybe your friends, your coworkers, because you need that.
Definitely.
I do believe that without a support from others, I don't think it would be a successful, business or.
That's
something.
great. Now, for the audience, we have in the studio right now actually is Marichu's husband here and a couple of friends to support her. That's support for you right there. Rambo, good job. There you go. Thank you.
Well, you know what? You're right. You're actually right because my very recent support right here is the husband and wife, Richard and Anna.
There you go.
And we love them. Me and my husband really love them because we like I said, we went through it up and down on the business side.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be successful, and you will encounter. We have encountered actually, and that time that I told my husband, you know what? I think our census is dropping. I said, should we quit? And this is like during COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people actually went through that. And then we were about like, maybe let's continue. And then the other people said, no, stop, or maybe switch it to clinic.
Yeah.
But then Richard is here and Ron.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, they're like, hey, you know what? Why won't we do this? Well, let's introduce you to this network. Let's connect you to insurances. Let's connect you to these community resources. And that's when I started again, like say, you know what? Thank you, Lord. There's support and people that are willing to help.
Yeah.
Without asking for something in return.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
we're really grateful. because during the time that we're about to give up, and Richard is there.
Nice.
And yeah,
That's support for you. That's support for you. That's great.
It's rare, and to find people like them, but there's always someone. There's always someone there and something in there.
That's
So
a
don't
great
lose
story.
hope.
That's a
Yeah.
great story of support right there for you. Wow. Okay. How have you maintained this success? Did you have to make a lot of adjustments along the way, or?
Yes, a lot of adjustment. First, like I said, like there are times that, we're lack of budget, and of course, when you're lacking of budget, you losing staff. But luckily, our crew and the owners are all in the medical field, which is my husband has to be a manager of the kitchen. So he has to learn, and get a license for kitchen supervisor. So then I didn't need to hire someone for the kitchen.
There you go.
And for the nurse side, I have my mother-in-law, and I was there. And RN is actually pretty expensive to hire. But then we have to sacrifice our time.
Yeah.
And our budget, because then I can be working as a nurse practitioner some of the days, because I was at the daycare.
Yeah.
So those are the adjustment that we have done. Budget is really the number one struggle.
Yeah.
And then second one is marketing. Like you're right. If you're not networking, you're just in your cubicle. It's gonna be difficult to get client.
That's right.
We need to. We actually have to continuously connecting with people. Affiliating with other resources in the community, because they're the one that will give us client. Because we're not catering just for Filipinos, but also for other race.
The races, yeah.
And actually, Richard taught me that. You shouldn't just be
don't
right
limit
there,
yourself.
You have to get out and connect with other people. So networking, budgeting, and
It's a great story. Now, for the audience, actually, I had a guest a few weeks ago, and it's so funny because it's such a small world. It turns out, Marichu here, we have a common friend, and he's also a
that's
business
right.
owner. And I had him on the show.
Yes.
And when they first started their business, they would drive the vans
Yes.
if somebody didn't
Yes.
show up.
Yep.
They did same thing with you. So
Yeah.
that's an awesome
Yeah.
story. So at this point, you're doing great. I'm going to ask you the same question that I mentioned earlier. What still keeps you up at night? What else, what do you think, what worries you sometimes?
well.
Besides budgeting and marketing.
Oh,
but-
Beside budgeting, well, we always want to deliver the best care to our client. And sometimes, at night, I always talk to my husband, what, are we lacking? Are we providing the best to our client? Like I said, less staff, but luckily, he is supportive, as well as our partners and the remaining staff that we have right now. So we continuously work together, and hopefully, that will improve. And that's always my worry, that I'm not providing the best care I can.
Wow, that's commitment for you for your craft.
It's a commitment.
That's awesome. No, true. I'm serious. Yeah. So you want to be the best, and you want to make sure that they get the best.
We have to. To me, it's our passion to help. Especially my husband. He is very, what do you call this? Supportive. And back then, our clients would ask for something to drink, right? To me, I would give water.
Yeah.
But for him, he wants the best. He will buy them coconut juice, orange juice. He will go next door and buy some juice for our clients instead of the regular juice that we have at the daycare. And he's always been like that, you know. So it to him, he likes to help. I do like to help, and that's actually what puts us together. I thought at first, like, you know, maybe when me and him will start a business, we might fight all the time, you know, because that's how it is for husband and wife opening a business. You know, they always fight, but it never was like that with me and him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so now you have success, you've experienced this, you've had a lot of sacrifices, a lot of support. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who's looking to open their own business?
Well, to them, I would like to say that, you know, don't be scared. You know, because I do believe that each and every one of us has a gift. You know, a gift that you could provide, you know, like that might be, you know, like a skill that you have, the knowledge that you have. And don't be scared to deliver it right there outside. You know, start the business where you're good at. You know, like, for example, for me, I'm in the medical field, and then I'm not that expert, but, you know, I'm good at clients and elderly. Mm-hmm. So I started this business, but it's not simple. It's not easy to start. But if you have a support, a strong support, and you'll be successful. Okay. Second is partnership. You know, you have to choose the right person. Right partner. It should be like if you both have the same goal, you know, equal time, mm-hmm. you know, and commitment. Because if you're the only one that's doing all the work, and the other person, you know, is choose to be, you know, like investing, putting money, but no time,
yeah, then
that's not going to be balanced, and that's not going to be fair. It's going to end up, you know, like a mess. So, so I do suggest for, you know, the people that wants to start their business, it's not easy, but don't stop. Once you start it, you set a goal and then reach that goal step by step. Don't, you know, stress yourself, because once you stress yourself, it's going to affect your health. What's the use of business and career if your health is not good?
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
So that's
awesome. That's good advice. Any parting words for our audience?
Well, visit our adult daycare and our clinic, Southern Nevada Care Center, Manila Adult Daycare, here in town, Las Vegas. We're located at Karen Avenue and Maryland Parkway.
It's a great spot, everybody. So thank you so much. But before we go, you talked about so much about your husband. I want my audience, at least on Facebook and YouTube, to see them. Go on, get over here. I'm just go behind her real quick so people can see you. There you go. That's Rambo, everybody. A very supportive husband.
He's very supportive. I'm telling you, I won't survive without him.
That's amazing.
I won't be successful without him.
Strong
honestly,
business, strong partnership, and strong marriage. How about that?
Relationship, yes. That's the secret, actually. That is a secret.
All right. That sounds great. So thank you so much again for coming onto the show. We truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Sonny.
I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure our audience did, and they'll learn from your experiences.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you. All right. So that's our show for tonight, folks. Again, next week, we're going to talk to another successful business owner. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.
Thank you, Sonny.